Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 166. This is a show where we talk about video games and gamer-related things. My name is Frank from Palm Manso, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, Alex Nunez. How are you, man?
You know what? If you had asked me this question a few days ago, I literally would not be able to answer you. But thankfully, things are better now. Thank you for asking.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that you basically lost your voice. Am I mistaken? Is that the case?
That is correct. Yes, I literally could not speak up like a few days ago. It was fantastic. I was slightly feverish as well, and my voice. I don't know why. It just kind of snuck up on me. I don't know if I was coughing too hard or something else like crept up on me. But yeah, I woke up and I was unable to speak, which was great.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you're doing a lot better now.
Mm-hmm. So my voice is still a little bit weird. That is why. That's why it sounds like this.
Okay, it's fine. Your voice sounds weird usually.
Yeah. Also, I'm rediscovering what it's like not to have a cell phone in 2017. So that's cool.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. As I was sick and as I was recovering, my phone just decided to become a paperweight.
Did it like catch your cold?
I guess so. I was like browsing Twitter one day, and then as I was scrolling, like it started freezing up, and then the screen went blank, and it never wanted to turn on ever again.
Whoa! So
yeah, I'm currently phoneless. I'm waiting for my replacement still, which they're taking their sweet time sending to me, and although there are a few phones here, but I can't use any of them because various reasons. One of them, like it uses a different SIM card size or whatever. Can't use that, and then there are all these other like software issues that I can't use another phone. So I said fuck it, I'm not going to use a phone for a few days, and it's weird going out without a phone sometimes.
All right, I had no idea.
I swear to God, I told you at some point over the weekend, or maybe I told somebody else. I don't know.
No, it wasn't me. You definitely didn't tell me.
Thankfully, I have an SMS service that's not tied to my cell phone, so I can just go on a web browser and text people and shit. But man, yeah. Otherwise, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing not being able to just communicate with people on the go.
Are you feeling a certain kind of way about that? Because it sounds like you are, but it's just like, is it like, have you just gotten used to, the whole like cell phone attached to your hip?
I mean, yeah, I've gotten used to it. I'm not against, like, I'm fine with being unattached. It's just weird noticing that. And now I'm thinking about, like, what if I needed a phone, because it's not like back in the 90s where not everybody had a cell phone, so that there were public places that had public telephones over the place, so you could use those instead. Those don't exist really anymore. So what would happen in the case of like such of an emergency where I needed to call somebody? I'd probably be shit out of luck.
Well, yeah, most people feel like that. Even if I forget my phone at home, I haven't done that in a really long time. But if there was ever the case where I like forgot my phone at home and I'd go to work, I'd just be like paranoid, like the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, what about if I got any messages from like, just for any reason? Like I'd find an excuse to like just be paranoid about it. So yeah, I
remember the good old days where you just leave the house and then like no one could contact you for like X amount of hours. And
man, we had to plan ahead.
Yeah,
we had to seriously plan ahead. Like, all right, we're talking on the phone now. You're gonna meet me at this place at this time. All right, because as soon as we get off, we can't communicate anymore. We just got to go on faith that this is going to be the case. So if you stand me up, I'm going to hunt you down and kill you. No, but it was true. You had to plan ahead. You had to make sure that things went the way they were supposed to. There was none of the social media, no cell phones.
Nope.
It was a different time.
It was indeed. A simpler time, if you will.
It was very much so.
So yeah, I'm kind of reliving that. But the one thing I fucking hate that I miss so much is I'm not able to listen to podcasts on the go. It's just like I go out, I want to go out for a walk or something, and sometimes I just like to listen to a podcast while I'm going, and I can't listen to shit.
Oh,
fucking sucks.
Do you have like I don't know, like an iPod Touch or something that can, or like a tablet that can still have like a data connection that you can probably take with you?
Everything I have is Wi-Fi. Like I have an older iPad, but it's old and doesn't have a lot of memory. So I don't like. Usually, I have a podcast app on it, but usually I just have it stream the podcast instead of downloading it to the device because I don't want to.
It's like you're gonna have to start downloading some episodes.
But then I have to take that whole thing with me everywhere I go, and I don't feel like doing that.
That's why I was asking if you had like an iPod Touch or something smaller.
Yeah,
that you can like still do the same thing with.
But I think I can wait a few more days until my replacement.
If it's only a few days, it's not a big deal. But actually, in this day and age, it's a huge deal. Imagine if you were like completely hooked on like, all social media, like Instagram or something, and you just needed to, or if you if like say you ran a business out of using social media, then you'd really be feeling it right now. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, welcome back to the Stone Age. All right.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
It shouldn't feel like this, we should be like, all right, let's just, wait around and see what happens.
But we have no self-control, Frank.
Not anymore. No. But that's a discussion for another day. That's definitely a discussion for another day. I want to talk about a thing I did this past weekend. There's a little thing that I did this past weekend. Okay. I went to J1Con.
Oh, right, yes.
This past weekend. J1Con 2017.
Which I could not go to because of my contagion.
Yeah. Alex,
I'm sorry,
Alex
I missed
out. It's all right. Alex punked out and he's like, I'm sick. And I'm like, what? So? He's like, I can't make it. And I'm like, oh, God.
Listen, man, I don't want to be the guy that goes over there and is fucking patient zero, okay? I don't want to do that. Second of all, I literally could not speak. So it was like, what's the point? I don't know.
Dude, it would have been so worth it. If you got everyone sick. Now, that's really bad to say. I shouldn't say that.
That is like the most evil thing I've heard you say. Holy shit.
It would have been worth it, though.
You included, Frank.
Hey, you never know. Some people might have just gotten over the very thing that you were sick from, so they might not have been infected.
Okay.
It's possible.
There's a silver lining.
Very slim silver lining. But yeah, no, I went to J1Con solo this past weekend, and J1Con, if people don't know what J1Con is, we've sort of been talking about it. We should have been talking about it more, but J1Con's anime convention in Philadelphia. It's the biggest one in Philadelphia. And it's actually, this past year is actually its last year in Philadelphia. It's going to be moving to Atlantic City as of next year. For years beyond that, I'm not sure, but they definitely said that they're not going to repeat it in Philadelphia. But yeah, so I went to J1Con and I was there both days and it was pretty cool, man. J1Con, It had a really nice setup. It was in the old ECW arena. I think like the first ECW arena ever.
Okay.
In the United States. And so basically the arena itself was where all the vendors were set up and the panel area was set up. And outside of that, they had like the gaming area. So they had like, it was a pretty large stretch of a gaming area, but beyond that was the bar. So they had like gaming and then you can like drink while you game, which is pretty cool.
All right.
I think, yeah, people were getting kind of toasted, like kind of early in the day. So it was kind of funny. I saw people definitely playing Tekken with alcohol. Nice. So that was fun. That seemed like a lot of fun. But yeah, so they had the gaming area out there and then they had the bar and then they also had another stage where the gaming area was. And then beyond that was where, again, the vendors and everything was. And the vendors, the way they set the vendors up was pretty cool. It seemed like it fit like almost perfectly. It was like a really long game of Tetris.
Okay.
But with all of the most important piece, the MVP piece, the long stick, that was pretty much like how it was set up, just all straight rows. The tables all like it just seemed to work the way it was all set up. So there was good enough amount of room to walk around and check everything out. You could cover the whole thing, I think, in about 15 minutes. Okay. That's like from end to end. and then, probably 15 minutes to come back. And yeah, so J1Con was pretty tight. We saw Jason Richardson, who runs the con. He was there just running around, doing his thing, putting fires out.
Did you get to meet Torbjorn?
No, I didn't. I know I didn't. I was actually hanging out a lot with Isaiah, Super Saiyan Tribble, and the Black Tribbles. Okay. I was hanging out a lot with him, and I was talking to some of the vendors. I knew some of the vendors that were there, but unfortunately, none of our friend vendors that we know, that we've come to know, were there. So no Geek Mythology Crafts, no Square Painter. Mm-hmm. Those guys weren't there. No Living in 8 Bits. They weren't there. So I'm like, oh, but even Mark Knuckles, he wasn't there. He had a wedding to go to. So I'm like, oh
man, I thought he was for sure guaranteed going to be there.
Yeah, he was. And then he was like, wedding? No. I think he contemplated actually not going, but I think he was forced to. So, okay. Yeah, so I pretty much the only people that I knew were Jason and Isaiah, and there was one or two vendors that I actually kind of knew, so I talked to them for a little bit.
Okay.
So, but my Saturday was kind of hairy because I had to drive in, and then once I drove in, I headed straight to the con instead of to the hotel. Mm-hmm. So I was at the con and I really needed to use the bathroom, but I really wanted to see what was going on. So after I did all of that, then I'm like, all right, I got to go back to the hotel. So I went back to the hotel, and which was only 10 minutes away. It was a really easy drive.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I settled in, and then I rested my feet for an hour, and then I went right back. So yeah, Saturday was pretty cool. I was also checking out the panel area a lot because the following day, I was going to do a panel by myself. But yes, we were supposed to do a panel the next day. So I was kind of checking everything out, making sure everything was going to go smoothly. And for the most part, it did. There were some small issues here and there, but I got through it, and I got some applause, and I got a good job from some people.
Nice.
So it seemed like the crowd was engaged somewhat. So, hey, it wasn't so bad at all. I was like, oh, this is it's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was nervous at first, but then once I started speaking, it was what? so it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
That's cool.
So yeah, best panel I've ever done, because it's the only one I've ever done. But yeah, so Sunday was my day was pretty much consisted of just doing the panel, and then when I was done with that, then I hung out for around, I guess, another half hour to 45 minutes, and then I had to go because I had to drive back home. I had to drive 4 hours to come back to Virginia.
Yeah.
But I have to say, J1Con, everybody seemed to love it. Everybody that went was saying oh, it was awesome. It was amazing. It's got a lot of positive feedback this year. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of that probably has to go to the fact that it's the last time it's going to be in Philadelphia, which is where it was born. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people showed up and came out in full force. The cosplay contest was pretty dope, I have to say. Unfortunately, I couldn't stick around for all of it, but for what I saw, there were a lot of people that had some great costumes this year.
Any favorites?
They had a lot of people from My Hero Academia, which were there. And they had a Kakugo Batsuki that probably is completely lost on you, Alex, but
the first thing you said was also lost on me, so yeah.
His costume was really cool. They also had I think the guy that won last year was there. The guy that was dressed as Donald Trump. I think he went back as Donald Trump, but he, as far as I know, I don't think he won. I'm not sure if you can do that twice.
Nah.
So, especially not this day and age.
Well, especially because last year was kind of a joke, and now it's no.
Right, now it's reality.
Yeah.
It's not funny anymore.
Nope. So. We're all done with that. We wish it was over.
But yeah, There were a lot of Steven Universe cosplays. There was this one girl who was dressed up as I think as Garnet, and she had an amazing cosplay as Garnet, and I'm like, holy shit. There were just some really like awesome cosplays at J1 Con. I was still surprised, like even though it shouldn't have surprised me, but I still was. Mm-hmm. And this was just Saturday, and then Sunday, from what I saw, like they all came out in full force because like they want to win, you know, either that or they want to show off with their work. So yeah, which is all good either way. But yeah, everybody seemed to have a good time, and yeah, J1 Con was legit. And so next year, Atlantic City, you know, bigger venue. You know, no snafus.
The Showboat Casino?
The Showboat Casino. Yeah. Bigger venue, you know, no, was it space snafus?
Right.
Will happen because they're doing it a year in advance. So, you know, I'm hoping that it's just going to grow.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it went as well as it did this year because of the like last minute venue change that they got forced upon them, which is a shitty deal.
Basically had less than 3 weeks. He had less than 3 weeks to get that together. He was actually gonna like cancel it. He was gonna cancel the con because that's no kind of time.
Yeah, to get a new venue.
Yeah, for like anyone to get a new venue and then to like reorganize everything to based on the new venue. So that's no kind of time. But he did it, and you know whatever issues that might have come up from it, hey, whatever, you can just like put that under the rug because that's that's like almost miraculous.
Yeah,
that he was still able to continue it with less than 3 weeks. So yeah, so more power to you, more power to the con. I enjoyed myself, and we're gonna have to see what happens next year. Hopefully, because of the bigger venue, it'll just hold more people, so more people can go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my time at J1 for the most part. Yeah, I have to say that I was glad that I was able to do a panel. That was cool. I would like to do that again.
I'd like to maybe do it for the first time.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens. Oh, I'm sick.
God damn it! Making light of my inability to actually speak.
No, it's all good, man. It's all right.
What a jerk.
It's all right. It's all right. There's always next time.
Yes.
But yeah, like that was the thing, and I thanks Jason for giving me the opportunity to do that. That was pretty tight. I liked the fact that I was able to do that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So let's get started, huh?
Sure.
So Alex is going to start us off. I'm very interested to hear about this game because I've heard nothing but good things. And yeah.
Go. I played the Destiny 2 PC beta. It is cool. It's 60 frames a second of Destiny 2. It is pretty cool. Word. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Speaking of which, yo, I got like the ultimate surprise for you. Like, I'm not going to say what it is until next week. I'm pretty sure if things work out the way I want it to, you'll be able to see it as soon as you see me next week.
Okay.
Like, on this. So yeah, it's like the dopest fucking thing. Like, what? So
you're talking about that, and the first thing that pops into my mind is that you got a fucking Sonic furry suit.
No. What? Where did that even come from?
I don't know. It's just, what does Frank think is dope? Sonic the Hedgehog. What is
Sonic Mania is dope. Play that game. Why haven't you played that game yet?
Because it hadn't come out on PC until this week.
Oh, shit.
I have like literally all the other Sonic games on PC. I might as well get Sonic Mania on PC as well.
Oh, shit. Well, you won't have to wait long because it's already out.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. Nah. It's not a furry suit of any kind. It's not a costume.
Okay.
It's something that you'll just be able to see.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Because I could see it, that's why I assumed, I don't know, costume or something.
Nah, man,
you're
thinking too narrowly. You're thinking too narrowly. Maybe it's not something that you necessarily see.
Okay.
But it's something that you will notice.
All right.
it's not something that you necessarily have to look for, but it's something that you'll almost immediately notice. So just think a little wider, and you'll see when you see me next week, man.
Okay.
And I'll also tell everybody what that is next week.
All right.
I'm not trying to keep anybody else out of the loop.
I'm intrigued.
Uh-huh. You should be. You should be. You should be intrigued.
Oh,
but yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sorry. Please continue.
The other thing I want to mention before I talk about the actual game I've been playing, I did it again. I spent more money on them Overwatch loot boxes.
Oh God, you need to stop.
I'm so sorry, and I'm apologizing to myself, really, but I mean, Blizzard,
so sorry.
They fixed those loot boxes, so no more duplicates. So I was like, you know what? Let's let loose the purse strings and get some loot boxes, because I ain't gonna get no dupes this time.
So, was it worth it?
Not really.
Oh God!
I only got 2 of the cool skins, the new ones. I got the Sexy McCree Man, and I got the Junkrat Cricket Man. And that's it. I didn't get no Widowmaker. I didn't have enough coins to even buy the Widowmaker skin. But it sucked at the beginning, because every single loot box I got, it felt like they were giving me all of last year's stuff that I didn't get already. So I was like, stop giving me the 2016 stuff. I want the new year model 2017, please. Please, Blizzard. But no, nothing like that. I just got a bunch of like voice lines and other stuff, but none of the cool stuff. None of the nice skins and everything. So it was it's still a mistake to buy those loot boxes. Mark my words.
Yeah, man.
Don't be like me.
Maybe next time, just don't do it.
I can't make promises, man. It's so tempting.
Just try.
It's so tempting.
Just try.
I'm gonna try.
Just try.
I'm going to.
That's all. That's all you need to just tell yourself. Just try.
It actually would have been better if they left the loot box situation as it was, with all the duplicates and crap, because now I would know, like, it's not worth it. But now it's like, oh, I have a chance. It might be worth it. But again, it's not really. At least not with my luck. But the main thing I've been playing this week is that Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. I don't know. Every time I try to read out that name, I always want to say Senua's Revenge for some reason, because that seems like a badass title or something to go with Hellblade. But no, it is Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, and that game is fucking dope.
Yeah,
I've seen it all the way through. It's about 7 hours, so it's not super long.
Oh, really? I heard it was shorter than that. Okay.
No,
I thought it was shorter than that.
No, it's like 7. Like, I saw on like how long to beat, and they said 7 hours, and that's where my Steam clocked in. Is like 7 hours to see it through all the way to the end. So
interesting.
Okay. Yeah, it's again, it's made by Ninja Theory. They made games such as Enslaved and DMC and that Devil May Cry reboot, the Heavenly Sword as well, way back on the PS3. So I guess with that, you might think of like, okay, this is what this game is. It's going to be kind of a character action game.
Character action, yeah.
And it's less that, although some of the combat does have some of that that DNA, because there are light and heavy attacks. You have a melee, you have a block that, if you time it right, also doubles as a parry. So that stuff, as simple as like the combat is in this game, I do find it very satisfying. Because especially later on, you get surrounded by a lot of guys. Typically, when you're in combat, you're facing people 1v1. And the entire game is actually, it's third person, but like it's very close to the back of the shoulder. It's almost like a Resident Evil 4 style camera. It's that close almost to the character. But yeah, like even in combat, the camera doesn't like move out, so you can see like everybody around you. So a lot of people will sneak up behind you and fuck you up without you knowing it, because the camera's so tight on you. But yeah, normally it starts off like 1v1, and but occasionally there will be like times, especially like mid-game and later on in the game, where you're going to be fighting maybe like 3 guys at the same time, or maybe up to 6 or something crazy like that. But those are like crazy boss fights and shit. But the key thing about this game is that they are going out of their way to kind of do justice by actually representing or accurately represent mental psychosis.
That's what I hear. The game is very much like like a mental breakdown episode. And they just kind of like really try to go into that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it like a mental breakdown because like this is her life. Like she has to live with this like day in and day out, you know. And like the game starts off like she's paddling a little like kayak through this river, and the entire time you got these little voices talking to her in her ear. And,
that's what I heard too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just hear the sound design is amazing.
Yeah,
like you're supposed to play this game with headphones.
Yeah, they encourage you at the beginning to play with headphones, and that's what I did. And I also encourage anybody, if you can do that, definitely play with headphones, because it is it is great just to have like those literally voices in your ear, and sometimes they get so close to the microphone that it feels like they're actually literally whispering in your ear all this stuff. I'm like, at first, like it feels, especially in the opening of the game, it almost feels claustrophobic because they're just constantly talking. And it is, some of it's like it's either the voices are all over the place too, because they could be helpful, they could be like against you, they're like making fun of you or talking down to you or like, you know, talking you up and saying it's all over the place. You can't like really reliably rely on what they're saying, and it's very cool how it actually integrates with the gameplay as well too, because I love everything about this. Like, it feels like they went out of the way to make everything in the game solely represent or accurately represent the psychosis that she's going through. So there's no like HUD elements, there's no like health bars or anything like that. There's no like mini map or anything. There's no on-screen elements that does not have to do with her psychosis. So when you're playing the game, occasionally, like later on, like one of the main puzzle things that you have to do is when you come across these doors, they have these runes on them, and if you inspect those runes, you kind of like you save them in your mind's eye, and then there's like a very faint after image of those runes on the screen. And as you're walking around this like small area to find those runes, you basically have to find the shape of the runes in the environment. So it's almost like the if you think of the Riddler, I forget what they were. The Riddler, there was some Riddler thing that you had to like view a thing from a certain angle to see like the full question mark. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, where you have to like see and try and find these runes in the shapes of the different environments. And depending on where you walk around, you'll see more or less of that rune kind of floating around in that area. So it's kind of a crazy effect where you're walking into this area, and as you're getting closer to where that shape is, there'll be more of that rune kind of floating. There's just like little R's or whatever, depending on what the rune is in that area. And it's just like, okay, I must be in the right spot, because there are a whole lot of these like it's almost like a bunch of fireflies were in this area, but except they're just little shapes. And,
interesting.
And you find it, and then you focus on it, because there's, I think your right trigger is your focus button, and then that just allows Senua to kind of, you know, clear out her mind a little bit or just look at a thing, and then that's when you can kind of cash in the shape puzzle or whatever. But I don't know, that again, it is accurate to representing psychosis, because people who have gone through that, they see stuff like that in the actual like real world. Like things just happen to be there. They'll like have these minor hallucinations that things are in the environment, and it doubles as a gameplay thing. And being a gamer, it just feels like, oh, this is just what a video game thing they're doing with the visuals. But that also doubles as something that somebody suffering with psychosis, like that's what they would actually see. They would see stuff in the real world, kind of like, oh, these runes are just floating out in midair, and then they have a lot of like lighting effects with how things can play with light, or things appear brighter than they normally should, or there's a weird overlay. Again, things that you might think are stylistic choices to make the game look a certain way, but it's actually, again, just trying to be very accurate with how somebody with psychosis kind of sees the world. Mm-hmm. So, again, like it's an amazing thing how I guess the lengths that they went to make sure that they were accurately showing what it's like to be somebody with psychosis. And it definitely made me more sympathetic to to that experience, I guess. Knowing what somebody might be going through or just being in their head for a little bit. And this whole game kind of centers around Senua and her trying to deal with her issues. But yeah, I mean, the story is it's kind of weird. It takes place, I guess, way back. She's a Celtic warrior. And I guess the Vikings have come and messed her village up and killed her lover. And I think they offered him to their Norse gods. So now her plan is to take her boyfriend's head and try and offer it to the gods, to the Norse gods, and try and get his soul back. So the whole game, a lot of it is based very much around Norse mythology. So there are some like these runes that are in the game world that you can access, and they kind of act as audio logs. And there's this other character that I guess Senua met when she was back in her tribe, and he, I guess, knew he was a slave for the Northmen, as they're called, and he learned a lot of their mythology. So he passed along a lot of that information to Senua, so you're getting all these kind of voiceovers from him, or explaining to her all the stories from Norse mythology. And some of it's crazy, but the voice actor that does it is really good. I love listening to the way he tells all those stories.
Cool. Who do you know who he is?
I don't know his name offhand, but I mean, you can just like IMDb or whatever. He's got a very like Scottish accent as well, which is cool. Actually, speaking of actors, I don't think the actress for Senua is actually an actress. I learned that she is actually a video editor over at Ninja Theory. She's not, so she's not an actress by trade. I don't know if she did it in the past, but I think early days when they were making the game, she was kind of a stand-in or something. But that in some way became her audition, and now she is like the main character in the video game, and that's pretty cool. She does all the performance capture and everything. So I was amazed that was also the thing. Like, okay, we're just going to bring somebody on staff to do it, and to do such a good job of it as that. Like,
so she did do a good job.
Yeah, like man, especially all the things that she has to do in that game. Like a lot of it is her just being like raw and emotional. And she's putting a lot of herself out there. It's insane how much of that is in that game and how much she's putting out there.
Oh man, makes me want to play this game like now.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It is a little out there because it is that fantastical sort of thing where, again, because a lot of it is in mythology, and Senua is pretty much going through, and because she's trying to get into Helheim, which is, like it's the Norse version of hell. And she's doing it. In some ways, it almost reminds me in parts of like God of War, because it's almost like a medley of like all the greatest hits of like Greek mythology, whereas this is doing the same thing but with Norse mythology.
Norse mythology, yeah.
But this is way more serious than something as like God of War, and it's crazy because just the places that the story goes, and how as you're playing the game, you're learning a lot about Senua's past and different events of her life, and how she's been dealing with this illness, which her and I guess everyone else around her refers to it as the darkness. Just the way that she sees the world, and you learn a lot of things about how people in those times kind of dealt with that sort of illness, and it's kind of eye opening in a way. Yeah, it's crazy, and the things that she does in that game in her quest is like, the sacrifice name definitely rings true. There's a whole lot of shit that she goes through just to try and save this one person that kind of like showed her, was like maybe the one person that showed her any kindness in the world. So because of what she was dealing with. I guess one other thing to mention is that the way they do some of the cutscenes, and obviously there's a lot of voice acting, but occasionally when there's like kind of like this intermission in the game, once you've done like this main thing in the gameplay, there'll be like a little cutscene with Senua, and they actually do kind of, I guess it's weird because it's basically a second person cutscene, because Senua is looking directly at the camera, and the person, I guess, whose viewpoint you're looking at her from is somebody else that I think is typically her boyfriend that you're, I guess, assuming the control of. Or not assuming control of, but you're in that position. Because he's talking to her and she's basically reliving memories with her boyfriend or other people. And sometimes they'll do a thing with, actually they actually pretty well use some FMV sequences. So you'll have Senua, a polygonal model of Senua against like a black background. She's surrounded by darkness, and occasionally they'll have like a little they'll superimpose a little bit of FMV, and they'll have like the FMV actors who play the other characters basically talking to her and interacting with her in some way, but it's like a vision of somebody else.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
that's a pretty good use of it.
Yeah, it's surprisingly I'm surprised how well it works. It can kind of look a little goofy once you realize, okay, these are just actors, and especially the one guy, the Druth, the one that reads all the Norse mythology to you. When you see him, he's wearing this like weird getup. I don't know, he kind of looks like a bird or a chicken or something, but
okay,
he's a little funny to look at. But everyone else, I think, is fine. But yeah, the game is, I don't know. I kind of encourage people to play it. But there are things about it that, as a game, it kind of lacks in certain ways. But now understanding what they were going for, as trying to make sure that everything was in service to representing psychosis,
illness,
in people's minds, and shockingly, like how well they were able to execute on that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, like combat is like it's fine, but I don't know. I found it pretty satisfying just being able to, especially when you parry stuff, because when you parry stuff, it's always satisfying. But I guess to build on that point, the combat, I didn't talk too much about the voices, but the voices are always there in your head, and when you're solving puzzles, they'll either help or hinder you. Like, hey, you're going the right way. Oh, you got to push that thing. You got to push that thing. Or like, oh no, they'll say you're going in the wrong way. They'll sometimes laugh at you like, aha, she's going the wrong way. She doesn't know what she's doing, and it's like it gets crazy.
That's crazy though. It's like how would you know if they're trying to help you or they're trying to not help you? Like that's crazy though.
You can't. That's the thing. Like you can't 100% trust them because they're all over the place like that. But
oh boy,
sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not, and you kind of have to, I guess, make that choice. But
it's up to you to find out.
Yeah, but it's a cool way because there's no HUD elements. There's no like, hey, look over here icon or something like that. They do that all with the voices in the game. And
oh my god,
the same goes for combat as well. Like if in case there's somebody behind you that's going to swing at you, they'll warn you like, oh hey, watch out behind you or something like that. Or they have a thing. There's a gameplay thing where I guess if you build up enough meter, so to speak, you can use a focus attack. Or maybe not an attack, but if you hit the focus thing. So Senua has a mirror that she carries around with her, and it hangs off of her hip. And on the back of that mirror, you can see different symbols. There's like 3 little circular symbols that'll show up. And as you attack people, one of those circle symbols will fill up, and you can have up to 3 charged at any time, right? And each one of those circles acts as like one focus thing. So when you hit the focus thing, it basically stuns all the enemies, and you can just kind of wail on them. So it's very helpful in times, but I found a couple annoying a couple times, especially towards the end of the game, because I believed in my combat abilities, right? But you're facing harder enemies, and sometimes the enemies later on, they will become incorporeal, so you can't hit them.
Oh god!
But if you
sounds like a Ninja Theory thing.
But if you parry their move, they become corporeal again. So then you can just wail on them.
Totally Ninja Theory, right there. Totally, they did that in DMC.
Yeah. But if you don't want to do that, you can just hit the focus thing if you have it charged up already, and then that will bring them back into this plane or whatever, so that you can hit them. And the voices are always like, whenever you have that thing charged, you're like, focus, focus, focus. I'm like, guys, chill. I got this. All right. I'm just doing the thing. I'm gonna parry this thing, and then I get knocked down. They're like, focus, focus. I'm like, fucking fine already. God, I'll hit the focus thing. Are you happy now? Shit. And
so the voices in my head,
they were getting to me, and that's kind of the cool thing about the game is that sometimes they'll like get a reaction out of you. I'm like.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully for me, I can stop the game whenever I want, and I don't have to deal with that shit ever again.
But there are actual people out there that deal with this
all the
every
time.
day.
Yeah, it's crazy, but well, maybe not crazy. I don't want to use that word, especially with this game. But yeah, like just being, and like when I started the game too, like at first I had the headphones on, and I was like, at one point I had to like take off the headphones and look behind me just to make sure, because I had thought somebody had come into my room. I was like, oh shit, okay, this is the kind of we're doing. But yeah, it was it's definitely a cool experience. I had some problems with other puzzles later on that I was just kind of brute forcing my way through and not realizing there was maybe another path that I could take. But other than that, I think I had a very good experience with it. Very few times I got frustrated, but yeah, Hellblade is really cool, and I think it's really good too that it's like half price. It's only $30. It's not like the full price of a full video game. So,
nice.
It's cool, and it does include a little like mini doc on the making of the game, which explains a lot of like them talking to medical professionals in the mental, like specifically like experts on psychosis and stuff, and it just shows the lengths that they went to again accurately portray what it is to deal with something like this.
Interesting.
So yeah, again, it's probably not for everybody, especially if you personally deal with something like this. I don't know how much that will weigh on you to kind of relive somebody else's like version of dealing with this, but they give you like a warning when you boot up the game, like, hey, this game represents psychosis and all this other stuff, and they kind of do mention violence as well, but that kind of goes with the territory, I guess. Like, you know, Ninja Theory video game, you're hacking and slashing a lot of people, violence comes with the territory. But the mental illness stuff was it's kind of a new thing. It's very rare that stuff is accurately portrayed in a video, well, in entertainment media, like, period, like, let alone just a video game.
It's really hard to.
Yeah.
Especially with like different visions, you know, like I guess of the directors and the writers and the dialogue. It's like different visions. Like it's really hard to kind of like accurately portray, but it seems like this one did a really good job.
Yeah. At least from what I've seen. Yeah.
From any perspective. Yeah. From an outside perspective. Yeah. It seems like it did a good job.
Yeah. And I can only go by the people that they had on the doc. So I don't know how biased they are, but they seem to be on board, and, you know, them giving their own personal experiences to the game developers and then seeing them portrayed on screen, they seem to give the okay on that. So if that's worth anything, then hey, I'm glad we're moving somewhere along with this, because stuff probably needs to be, you know, talked about more or shown more so that more people can kind of understand what the hell's going on with some of these people.
True. Very true.
We all need to be more empathetic to everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of been my Hellblade experience. It's I feel like I've been playing all these trippy games lately. It's fucking weird. It's messing with my head. But Hellblade was great.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So Frank, I hear you've been playing video games too.
Yeah, I kind of do. I had the chance to, and I've also played a new game. And well,
wait, are you trying to say that you're playing something besides Sonic Mania right now?
Yes. I actually, well, if people want a recap of this, let's just quickly go back to Sonic Mania. Uh-huh. So I didn't 100% the game, but I did everything. I got all the modes. I got super versions of every character. I have save files of such, and, you know, so I've done everything I possibly could in the game except for versus mode.
Okay.
And time trials I haven't messed with, so I'm going to try to mess with those as well. But I did everything a single player can do. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and play it, because I'm jonesing for it right now.
Okay.
Like, I need to play it. I need to play it some more. I also did this really interesting thing, and I think I've seen online that people have been like playing the game this way, which is really interesting. So I was on the final boss, and I was about to turn supersonic, right, to quickly dispatch of the final boss. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the boss hit me at the same instant that I was transforming.
Okay.
So I lost the rings, but I still turned super. But the thing is, the only difference is that Sonic wasn't gold. He was blue. but he had like the spiky hair like going straight up. And
wow.
I'm like, holy shit. And so it was like a pseudo supersonic, you know, like I wasn't gold. I could still like run fast and jump high, but I was just blue.
You just turned supersonic blue. You understand this, right?
Yeah, supersonic blue. Yeah, exactly.
You know what this means.
So, right? Yeah, I know. Like the parallels to Dragon Ball Z just keep coming. But so the thing is, though, like I looked on YouTube. I was looking on YouTube for something, and I saw that one of the recommended videos was like supersonic blue with Sonic Mania, and I'm like, wait, that's a thing? Because when I did it, I couldn't like hit the boss anymore. Oh. Because it was like I wasn't registering on the screen. So I was trying to hit the boss. I was trying to make contact with anything, and I couldn't. So I'm like, but the supersonic music was playing, and my rings weren't running out either. So it was kind of a weird, like you could stay in that state forever.
Okay.
But so I had to restart the game, though. I couldn't pause. I couldn't do anything. So I had to restart the game. But there are people that have actually been able to apparently do this and play the game that way.
Huh.
And I'm like, holy shit. That's so cool. That's like a super big like cheat or glitch that you can literally be supersonic infinitely, like without having to worry about losing rings, and you'll just be blue. But
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty. I took a screenshot of it, and I also took a picture on my phone of it because I'm like, this looks awesome. I like this look. But yeah, so that's been my whole thing with Sonic Mania for now. And the actual game that I've been playing for this week is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Yay, more Uncharted.
Yeah.
So Uncharted: The Lost Legacy stars Chloe Fraser and Nadine Ross. Nadine, the woman with the best looking arms in the world.
Yo, for real. Holy shit. Her arms are so goddamn toned.
Ridiculous. Yeah, her arms are ridiculous. I look at her arms, I'm like, damn. So Nadine, so it's basically they're going on another adventure. And it's an Uncharted adventure where they have to search for the Tusk of the Ganesh, I believe. And in doing so, they have this other, I forget what the guy's name is called, or the organization that they're a part of.
I think the main guy is Azav.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy is the guy that has, more resources than they do and more people than they do. But the thing is that Chloe for the most part, but Chloe and Nadine are smarter, and they get to things faster. And so it's kind of like a race to the finish to see who gets to the Tusk first with, clue after clue and, just one-upping each other and so on. I don't know. This game, to me, it just seems like it's not reinventing the wheel. It's kind of like just more Uncharted.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily like a different thing. It's not a great thing. It's just more Uncharted. So if you want more Uncharted, you're going to get more Uncharted. And Chloe is basically Nathan Drake, with her jokes and her quips. And Nadine is like a more serious toned Sully. Or even an Elena, but Nadine is like, the mercenary who's just in it for the money, and she just helps Chloe because Chloe's an investment. And Chloe is just doing it you start to learn more about Chloe, I think, and you realize that like her dad was like obsessed with finding the Tusk, and you also learn that Chloe is actually of Indian descent.
Yeah.
And like Indian from India descent, and that she, her dad was obsessed with finding the Tusk, and so she's basically doing it just so she can kind of like feel closer to her dad in a way. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, she's kind of got a little bit more depth. It's not like she was like the girl being passed around in the Uncharted series before, like she's actually got a character to her. So So I'm more interested in learning about Nadine right now because Nadine seems interesting to me, but Nadine does seem kind of like one note, and I'm just hoping that there's more to that, and I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of this as well, but I don't know. It seems like they're diving a little bit into Nadine's past as well because I don't know if you got to this, I guess, conversation, but Nadine was mentioning stuff about her father as well, how she was in a way following in his footsteps.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it was her dad's, it was like her dad's business.
Yeah.
That she kind of just took over. Yeah, that I did get to. So, yeah, I actually think you and I are at around the same part.
Yeah, I think I'm like I'm a little behind where you are, just in terms of like getting the main objectives and all that.
Yeah. But it was definitely a part of what we discussed last week briefly about how it's like the biggest level that Naughty Dog's ever designed.
Mm-hmm.
And
which isn't saying a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but this area is huge, and not only does it come with objectives, but you have to also, well, you don't have to, but you can also acquire these like tokens. There are 11 tokens in all, but this area is like massive, and you know, when you come to like certain areas, there are like guys you have to defeat in order to get the objective. And I have to say, this game, like Uncharted 4 made me do this a lot, but this game even more so now. Like, you can't just like hide and cover anymore. Like, you have to run around.
Yeah, you have to be active.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot sit in one place for like more than like 5 seconds. Even that's too long.
Uh-huh.
Because the way they design where the guys shoot at you from, and it's just like you can't sit still. And I like that. I like that it forces you to move.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to use stealth as much as possible. Even if they see me at one point, I'm going to try and get back into stealth.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I can sneak around.
Oh, yeah, big time, the same. But yeah, Uncharted for the most part, to me, again, it just feels like more Uncharted. It's just more of the same thing, which is not a bad thing.
I will say I think I like this format better. I like this like wide open area that you can just kind of go and explore, and it feels much more true to the, I guess, the treasure hunting experience. It's just like, hey, we're just going to look for this thing, this artifact, and we got to find these clues. And instead of this being like one linear path that you go through, it's pick a direction you want to go into and figure it out.
Yeah. It feels a lot like, I guess thematically, it feels a lot more like the first game, where the first game was just all about like, you know, just hunting down that treasure and, you know, just kind of like getting into gunfights along the way. While linear as it definitely was more about the exploration.
Oh God. I just had a revelation. What if there's supernatural bullshit at the end of this? Well, I don't know. I think they kind of learned their lesson.
It would keep up with the trend.
Well, they kind of learned the lesson, I think, in Uncharted 4, because they didn't have really any of that, but there was some stuff at the end of that game.
Well, yeah, Uncharted 2 and 3.
Yeah, no, but like 4 didn't.
Well, and 1.
4 didn't have that stuff. That's what I'm saying, is that since that game, I think they've kind of learned the lesson. Like, okay, maybe people don't really like this anymore.
Well, who knows? I mean, to me, it seems like I wouldn't think so, but you never know. But again, like, you know, Chloe and Nadine seem more than capable.
Yeah.
Of handling almost anything that comes their way, especially Nadine being as experienced as she is. And I like that Nadine gives Chloe shit for, like, I'm not sure if you got to this part, but like there's a part where Nadine gives Chloe shit because she's basically criticizing her on how she battles. She's saying you can't. She's like, you're always like, there's always everything's wrong with the way you fight. Like, you're always jumping around like a maniac. You never sit still. You never land clean hits. And you're also, what the hell are you doing wearing red? What are you doing wearing red to like a gunfight? You're just like a beacon. You just want to be seen. Uh-huh. So
that's awesome.
So it's like So I kind of like they also have like a really good rapport between the two. It's a little, and you can tell it's like a little shaky, you know, at first. It's like they're kind of like tense partners. They're unwilling partners, but they're partners still.
Yeah.
So they have each other's back.
Yeah, it's kind of got an odd couple vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I will say though about the open area, I don't know. To me, it feels kind of small, even for how open it is. It like looking on the map and being like, okay, I got to go here, and then realizing that the distance on the map is much shorter than I anticipated in actual reality.
Yeah.
Because like, oh damn, I thought this was going to be at least like a minute ride, but no, it's like 5 seconds. All right, I'm here.
Yeah, it's usually not far, and sometimes just finding sometimes just finding your way, it takes a little bit longer, but yeah, it's really no longer than like 10 seconds to like get from one place to another. And that's like going from like one end of the map to the other. It's like probably like a full like minute to 2 minutes max.
Yeah.
that'll take you to get across. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if there's much more to say. Graphics are dope.
Yeah,
as usual. And yeah, I mean we're just kind of getting into it right now, so to me, nothing crazy has really happened yet. So I'm just kind of enjoying the ride, but like I said, it's just more of the same.
Yeah. So far, I just like the open-ended aspect of it. If they do continue to make more Uncharted games, I hope they implement more of that in the future. But yeah, I just have to finish the game and see where the story goes, because that's like the other main thing for these games is how they tell their stories. Yeah, because voice acting and everything else the way they present everything is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. And yeah, they were just making mention that you're not going to see Nathan Drake at all in this game. They mention him, but yeah, he's done. But they do mention Sam also.
Yeah.
So it seems like Sam is definitely going to be the next protagonist.
Nah.
If they make more Uncharted.
I don't know about that.
You don't like Sam?
Nah. not as like a main protagonist. Nah. He's good as maybe like a secondary or tertiary character.
Yeah.
Let's go like an Uncharted prequel with Sully in his early days. I'll be all over that.
I'd like to see that.
Hell yeah.
I'd like to see that for sure. Like I enjoyed that little section in Uncharted 3 when you saw like, a young Nathan Drake and you had like a younger Sully, kind of like telling him like, you're wrong for doing this, kid, but you're a pretty good thief and so on and so forth. So, that I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that section very much, and I'd like to see like more of that too.
Or the other good thing would be they just go into the future and make Cassie the next heir to
the next Nathan, yeah,
and then have her Uncle Sam be her version of Sully.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Maybe that might be the logical direction that they can go as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chloe and Nadine, it's like nice. It's just nice to be able to play another Uncharted game, especially so quickly after Uncharted 4 just came out.
Yeah.
Last year. So yeah, we'll just have to see how the rest of this game goes. I'm not sure if there's much more we can say about it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. More Uncharted stuff.
Yeah. But all right, cool. So let us move on to the next segment, and we're going to move on into headlines. And before we do, as always, go to innercitygeeks.com where you can follow along with us so we don't sound like crazy people. And first up, the headline for this article says Sony is dropping the price of the PlayStation VR. So the PlayStation VR will be dropping as of tomorrow, as you're listening to this. And they are dropping the price to new bundle featuring PlayStation VR headset, PlayStation camera will be released next month for $3.99 and $4.99 in Canada. Oh, okay. Sorry. So yes, the price will be dropping to $3.99 in the US, and I believe it's from $4.99. From $4.99 to $3.99. And they launched the VR last year with the what? I'm sorry, this is so confusing. All right, let me start over.
Yeah, the headset launched at $3.99, but it was just the headset. What they're talking about now is a bundle with the headset and the camera, which is going to be $400. So
and they're saying also
they're basically giving you the camera for free.
Right, and they're also saying that they have another bundle with the headset, camera, and a pair of PlayStation Move controllers, and a copy of PlayStation VR Worlds, and that's dropping $50 from $4.99 to $4.49. So, like you said, you're basically getting the camera for free in this case. So, if you are still interested in jumping on the PSVR bandwagon or the VR bandwagon at all, this might be a good entry point for you, especially being backed by Sony and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I think still technically the cheapest VR headset.
Yeah.
I know the Oculus did drop. I think it dropped to $400 as well, but you still need a beefy computer to run all that stuff.
Yeah. Which that gets pretty pricey.
Man, imagine being in Res Infinite VR. That might be worth the price of admission. I don't know.
Yeah, and to all those crazy people who did Resident Evil 7 in VR, yeah, that's cool. I admire you for that. That's awesome.
You can do it too, Frank.
I'm not doing that. No.
Why not?
No. I don't have the power. The power to run VR.
Yeah, so you do. You have a PS4.
I'm good, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So, next up. So we're back. So we're back with Street Fighter V news, and Street Fighter V. So season 2 is actually about wrapping up. I believe it'll be wrapping up in probably in the next month or two. And Street Fighter V released their 5th newest character for season 2, and the character is Menat, and she is the soothsayer character that you see in Ed's storyline in the game. So they have the debut video for her, and surprisingly, just like Abigail, she's already available.
Yep.
Right now as you're listening to this. And so that was very shocking because they revealed her, I think, on Saturday last week, and they said, oh yeah, she's going to be available on Tuesday.
Like what? Okay.
And Abigail was the same. Abigail was like, oh yeah, we will reveal him on Thursday or something, and he's available next Tuesday. What? Abigail.
I just love that little character select intro that he has where he gives that little pause in between his names. Gale. It's fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, Menat, I don't know. Abigail. Did you get a chance to mess with her a little bit?
No, I didn't. But I did look at the video. She looks like she's different. She looks like Rose, like a combination of like Rose and even like Bridget from Guilty Gear, which is strange. But like she has like a lot of mix-up potential. Did you mess with her at all?
A little bit. I tried to do some of her trials, but I was doing it on pad, and I didn't get to see her whole like move list and all that stuff. But she seems like crazy. Like there might be a very high ceiling with her, especially with all the custom shit you could do with her little orbs that she throws out.
Yeah, that's how Bridget was in Guilty Gear. Like the amount of setups that you could do, but you really had to know how to play. Mm-hmm. Like you really had to know the character, and like positioning was super important. And she seems a lot like that. And so, but yeah, Menat will be the 5th character, the 5th new character for season 2, and she'll be the 27th character on the roster. And there's one more character that's yet to be announced for season 2. Everybody pretty much knows who it is, but we have to wait and see until Capcom actually releases that character. And then we move on to season 3.
Yeah,
we'll see who the next 6 characters are. Rumor is that season 3 will be like back to old school. So you're gonna see like old characters come back. So I'm pretty sure Sagat is in that list somewhere.
He's been in the rumored list, along with like Q,
Sakura, Q, Necro. Yeah, so we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
But as far as the rumor for that last character, if you're a fan of Guy from Final Fight, then you might be a fan of this character.
Oh, you mean the last season 2 character?
The season 2 character, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So hopefully Menat is not like super broken, because that video, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like combos that hit you on both sides and highs and lows almost simultaneously. It's like the potential is nasty.
Yeah, she can leave those orbs behind you and just recall them whenever the hell she wants. It's like,
oh god.
Well, it shouldn't be that bad because most of that stuff you only have to block in the direction that your opponent is at. So even if it's behind you, you don't have to worry as long as you're holding back.
Yeah. But all right. So in other news, so are you a fan of the game Brink?
Nope.
Alex?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I don't know that many people are, to be honest.
So Brink. So people who are fans of Brink probably noticed this, or maybe not. But so after the game dropped to 99 cents in a recent sale, and then I believe it was a few weeks later that they just said fuck it, and they made the game free. Mm-hmm. And it came straight from the developer to make the game free. And basically the reason was, why the hell not? If it's 99 cents, like they're not going to make a whole lot of money off of a game that's selling for 99 cents. So they just said, let's just give it away. Uh-huh. So Brink is free. It's free. It's free like now. I'm not sure if it's forever, but it's free now. And if you're a fan of the game, you should just go and pick it up.
That is such a weird thing because this game is like, it feels like it's so old at this point because it was like a 360 era game or something.
Yeah.
When it launched, it definitely didn't do well. I don't know what happened. I forget if it was like an online only thing, but like I guess the main premise was that it was like a first person shooter, but with like parkour elements and stuff like that. So, but it never. I don't know that it ever took off. At least not at launch. So I don't know if it ever found its audience, but. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like now, all of a sudden, like, hey, we're just gonna put this out for free for whatever reason. Okay,
just because.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, times are tough. Times are tough, but yeah, the game is free. So if you're interested in picking it up, I guess now's the time. Or even if you're not interested and just want to, try it out or something, now's a really good time to do any of those said things. Mm-hmm. So, all right. In other news, this seems very exciting. So, the Yakuza developers are working on a Fist of the North Star game.
Oh, right.
And this is crazy talk. Fist of the North Star is amazing. It's amazing for like the dumbest reasons. It's just like so ridiculous. But Fist of the North Star is an 80s anime. And it's just like, what? Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, so Sega is basically working on a Fist of the North Star game, and they announced the game. They announced the game with a trailer and a live stream event last Saturday, and it's supposed to release sometime next year in Japan. And it's Fist of the North Star. You can check out the trailer for yourself and see, but it's just like I get scared like whenever I see a Fist of the North Star, like anything, because things the characters could do in that anime were just like insane. Like I was afraid to like touch. I was like, if anybody in that anime touched anyone else, I'd be like, no, because anytime anyone was touched, like that part of their body would like explode.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God. Have you ever watched Fist of the North Star or heard of it or anything?
I've never seen it. I think I've heard people talk about it, and I'm like, what the fuck are you people talking about? This sounds insane.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's so insane. But yeah, it's so it seems like there have been some Fist of the North Star games. I believe there was a fighting game that came out not too long ago.
There was something that came out somewhat recently. But man, the trailer to this thing looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. It's like Mad Max, dude. It's like crazy. But that Fist of the North Star always had that aesthetic anyway. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of interested to see how this turns out. So you can watch the trailer yourself and see. Do you have any interest in trying this out at all?
I don't know that I'll try it out just because I have no like attachment to Fist of the North Star, but I don't know. It's got that fucking. If the Yakuza developers are on board and they're bringing their own board zaniness or what have you. And I don't know how much of that, overlaps with the actual Fist of the North Star property. But, I mean, that trailer looks ridiculous. I don't know if it's compelling enough for me to jump in on that fact alone, but it looks really good, though, for people that might be interested in it.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Just because. Just because I want to see the insanity. So, in our final article for this week. So, Overwatch news. We can never have enough Overwatch news. So, Overwatch's Mercy is getting nerfed. Like, big time nerfed.
What the hell are you talking about? You obviously don't know anything about Overwatch, because she's getting the biggest buff of her life. Holy shit. She's getting a new ultimate, but isn't it that it's only going to basically target one person now instead of a team? No. So they're moving her existing ultimate, which is her resurrect ability. And they're making it her like standard secondary ability. So now she can resurrect basically whenever she wants. She doesn't need ultimate to resurrect people.
Oh god.
So now resurrect is one at a time, but now her new ultimate is that she becomes like Super Mercy. She's all powered up. She can literally fly around the map. Like there's no restrictions or whatever. She does more damage. She has infinite ammo on her pistol, so she never has to reload. She can heal people from farther away, and if those people are bunched up together, she can heal multiple people because the beam will kind of split off, which is fucking fantastic. So yeah, she's getting a crazy makeover, and for the better, I think. Some people are like, oh my god, seeing like replays of Mercy using her ultimate, and then just instead of healing her team, she just goes around and kills the other team flying through the air like a fucking flying Valkyrie, which is what she is. Because that's actually the name of the ultimate is Valkyrie, and every time I see one of those GIFs or one of those videos, I'm like, somebody needs to put Flight of the Valkyries over this thing, because that would be perfect. But yeah, Mercy, she looks fucking crazy now, and I can't be happier.
She really does. She looks so angelic. She looks crazy.
But she will murder you if you're not in your perfect. Well, I don't know. She'll just kill you if you're on your other team. That's about it, because she can do damage now.
and by the way, I was being facetious before.
Okay. Sometimes with you, I can't tell.
Good. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that like now she's gonna be like able to do like all this damage and have a passive ability that was her former ultimate. That's nuts.
Well, not a passive, because it doesn't happen automatically. Secondary.
But yeah, that's insane. We're gonna see even more Mercy players now. I'm imagining.
Yeah, it seems real cool. Because like a lot, and I think Jeff Kaplan, he mentions it in the video that he made the announcements. But like a lot of Mercies will hold ultimate and tell their team to die so that they can get this ultimate res. Yeah, which is disheartening for if you're on the other side of that, the receiving end of that, on the other team. And it's just, oh man, we killed the entire team, and this is our reward. We get to fight them all over again, and they're all fresh, and we're not. But it's crazy how much they're changing these characters and how much they're willing to mess around with their ability set and all that.
Yeah, man. Overwatch is still something like pretty awesome, dude. Like they are. Sorry, I think I saw like an ad for a Overwatch loot box, and I'm like, oh, you wouldn't want to tell Alex about that.
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay.
The summer event is over, so I'm just going to get regular loot boxes, which is not cool. If there's an event going on, then it may be a different story. I can't say for sure.
Yeah, so that's going to about do it for headlines this week. So Alex is going to go ahead now and take us through new and upcoming releases. I am salivating for some of these, and I will be also spending money myself, like ASAP. Because holy shit, some of this stuff is incredible. I need to have some of this stuff. So please go ahead.
Yeah, it's a pretty good week. This week, the week of August 29th, First up, we've got Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is now out for the Switch.
Yo, that was game of show at E3. For real. That's like crazy to me.
Yeah, it looks so good. Like, oh man, it's the perfect mix of Mario and like turn-based
XCOM.
Strategy, XCOM style gameplay. Like, who would have thunk?
Yep.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Also out this week is Windjammers, available for PlayStation 4 and the Vita.
What? Yo, Windjammers on the Vita?
It's finally
Is it cross-buy?
Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to double check to be sure. I'm not 100% sure. Also out this week is Rock of Ages 2, Bigger and Bolder. Boulder as in, the big-ass rock. Hell yeah.
Yes.
I
get it.
I love it. That is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Did you play the first Rock of Ages?
No, I haven't.
Yo, that game is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty dumb, but it's pretty cool. It's like it's like a mix of like, I don't know, Monkey Ball and a tower defense game. I don't know how much of that is in this game, but it like a lot of the interstitial stuff was also, it looked like it was straight out of an animated Monty Python skit or something. It's got that kind of art style to it. But yeah, Rock of Ages 1 was great. I can't wait to see how 2 does, but that is out now. Also out this week is Yakuza Kiwami is out for PlayStation 4. We got some DLC for XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. That's available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 1. That's the prequel that they announced not too long ago. That's available now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
The wait begins. I'm going to wait for all the episodes.
Are you really excited about this one? I don't know. I heard some things about it because like you're not going to have powers or anything. So I don't know how much of that makes the experience.
Oh.
Because you're playing a different character, I think. I forget who it is, but...
You're playing Chloe.
Okay.
Chloe was the best friend in the game, in the first game. Max was the main character who had the powers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Without spoiling anything, yeah, Chloe doesn't have powers.
Okay.
So.
And then there's also the voice actor thing. I think they had to change voice actors because I think related to the strike. That still.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Yep.
That sucks. Well, maybe this one might be better.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think it's like a short season too. I think it's only a handful of episodes, not like the full 5 or whatever it was. So.
Oh, really? It's only like 2 or 3?
Yeah, I guess it's like you would technically call it a mini-series.
A mini-series. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I'll definitely wait then if the wait will be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Than anything. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm still excited. Life is Strange was amazing.
Yeah, everybody loves that all those characters and everything. It resonated with a ton of people.
Yeah.
We've also got Ark Survival Evolved. I think is now fully out of early access, is now available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Absolver is available for PlayStation 4 and PC, as well as Abduction for PlayStation 4, Dead Alliance for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Everybody's Golf, formerly known as Hot Shots Golf, is available for PlayStation 4. I don't know. I don't love that name change.
Yeah, it seems kitschy.
Yeah. I don't know, but it is what it is. Everybody's Golf is out now for PlayStation 4. Grim Legends 2 Song of the Dark Swan is available for PlayStation 4. Hello Neighbor is out for Xbox One and PC. Killing Floor 2 is out for Xbox One. Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition is available for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Record Definitive Edition is now out for Xbox One and PC. Red Out is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. If you like some fast futuristic racing. Resident Evil Revelations is now out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Sonic Mania is now finally available for PC.
Yo.
How do you like that game, Frank? Is that a good game? I can't.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if I've heard
now.
I don't know if I've heard anything about that game.
Oh my god.
The Metronomicon.
This is what you're doing right now is like me asking you, how's Destiny? Is it a good game? I haven't heard anything about the game at all.
It's, you know what, with Destiny, it's more complicated. Because I don't know, is it a good game? I'm not sure that it is, but I like it a whole lot.
Sonic is a great game. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about this game from people we know, from critical reviewers, and just it's great.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Also out this week, the Metronomicon Slay the Dance Floor probably wins my favorite name of a game this week. That's out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The Art of Fighting Anthology is a PS2 classic now available for PlayStation 4.
I love those games.
All of them?
I liked 1 and 3
a
lot. 2 was okay, but 1 and 3 were really good.
Yeah, I wonder how... Yeah, there's not going to be any online stuff because it's just a PS2 version. Sucks.
Yeah.
And then finally for this week, we've got Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack is out for the Switch.
Get it now! Everyone! Get it now! It's Azure Striker Gunvolt 1 and 2!
Yes, both
Get it!
And they're both 60 frames per second. I forget what other upgrades they made to the other version, but yeah, they did some nicer things to it for the Switch version.
I gotta check out what that is, because there will be there's touchscreen functionality for the 3DS version, so I'm not sure how that would translate to the Switch. Like there's Steam versions also, and I'm not sure how they would access that. So I gotta check out how that works.
Interesting. Yeah. It also includes the entire DLC catalog from the 3DS version preloaded into the game. So I don't know how much extra stuff that will bring with that pack in.
Might bring Mighty Gunvolt. Mighty Gunvolt might be a part of that. The first, not Mighty Gunvolt Burst, but the first Mighty Gunvolt would be DLC, but that was also free.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what other DLC they had with that game, so I'm interested to see what that means.
Yeah, not sure. They also mentioned that there's a new vocal track from the character Lumen, aka the Muse.
Ooh, so new songs.
I guess.
One new song, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because those songs were dope.
But that will do it for the new releases for this week. But I also want to remind people that there's probably a hotly anticipated beta this weekend. Again, Call of Duty World War II beta. It's still private access, so only for pre-orders, but now it's opening up to both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players. So definitely get in on that if you're interested this weekend. That's it for all the stuff this week.
All right. So that's it. We're done with this episode. So before we officially go, we would like you to visit innercitygeeks.com, which is where we're located, where we have a bunch of stuff sometimes regarding everything geek. You can view our episodes and or subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's on the channel is called Good Games. And yeah, that's just another place to listen to our show. You can also listen to us on iTunes, where you can leave us a review. It's the best thing that you can do for us, actually, and let us know how we're doing on the show. If you like us, if you don't like us, just let us know so we can improve or stay the same. You can basically listen to us while our podcasts are available. And I also want to encourage everyone that if you're going to do any kind of Amazon shopping, to go ahead and go to innercitygeeks.com first and click on the Amazon banner on the right-hand side of the page. When you do that, it takes you to Amazon and buy whatever it is that you were going to buy. When you do that, a little bit of that will come back towards us, so we can provide more show and more content just for you. You can reach us on all the social media outlets, mainly Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The Twitter for this show is at Good Game Podcast. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Inner City Geeks. You can find us, and you can also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. We actually read our emails, so go ahead and feel free to say, hey, what's up? And we can maybe play some games together sometime or something. So that is actually going to about do it for this episode. Thank you all for listening. We're going to say goodbye. And in leaving, as always, we say, good games, everybody.
Good games.
You